Hey, it's Wes, and I am tuned in today to make a very quick video. And there are main things I want to talk about in this video is real simple. How do you get out of bronze? How do you get out of silver? How do you get out of gold? How do you get into platinum? And the reason I'm stopping at platinum is because I am platinum. I don't want to tell you how to get to mythic when I'm not in mythic. And this is for a free to play player. So, how do you do it? First off, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to give you all of it right up front. But I am going to detail all those if you want to keep watching the videos. These are the three things that I have learned so far. First off, you've got to have the right deck. Secondly, you've got to grind, as in play the game. Thirdly, paper magic is actually the key to getting better at this. So, what's that all mean? You can actually stop the video here. That's it. Those are the 3 points. But I'm going to detail what that really means, though. That way you understand, if you want to understand this a little more deeply than just those 3 points. So, first off, the right deck. I have predominantly, when I first started playing Magic back in the day, was an aggro white weenie deck player. And I still play a lot of white. One of the interesting things is when I first jumped into this deck, you get a handful of decks to play with in the very beginning. And I wound up making a white lifesteal deck. Now, in this deck here, I may have wound up crafting some of these Speaker of Heavens, and I think I crafted the Griffin Airy. And basically, it got this deck to where it was okay. It was okay. I could climb, and there were decks that definitely gave me problems, but I could climb. And I climbed all the way probably into silver really easily. I got into gold with this pretty easily, but I never got to platinum. I could not break into platinum with this deck. So what happened was my deck began to evolve and change. I had to realize that, hey, this deck is good for where I'm at, but it's not going to get to me to the next level. So this one here, and as tiled, should work, but for whatever reason, this deck didn't work. There's a handful of changes in here, not a lot of changes, but this deck should perform better than it is. So I'm not sure if maybe it was just a bad set of cards I was going against. And then I realized something. It's not a bad set of cards I'm going against. The fact of the matter is, the decks that you're playing that are hard for you to beat at bronze, silver, and gold, those become more and more common the higher you go. So this deck doesn't overcome those problems that I was facing in those other decks. It has a few other tricks about it, stuff that can help me get damage through, but it is not the fix. So what I did is I finally realized, I'm like, you know what? I'm good at making decks. I enjoy making decks. And for years, I've always made jank decks that have really had good synergy. But I came to realize there are people out there better than me. And that's one of the first things of getting better at this game is realizing there are people better than you at this game. And so, eventually, I wound up... I did try this one here. I just called it hot trash because it sucked. Should have worked once again. But it failed miserably. And eventually, I just imported this deck. And I didn't have, and I still don't have all of the crafting items to make this work. A good example of that is Legion Angel. I don't have any other Legion Angels, and of course its ability allows you to bring some in from your sideboard, and I don't have any more. So obviously this deck technically needs work, and I know I threw a couple things in here just to flush out the deck. Like for instance, the Skyclave Apparition, I'd love to have more. It's a great card. This Defend the Campus, that's one of my threw in there as filler. And so this deck, I copied over as much as I could, but I couldn't copy all of it. However, as soon as I imported this deck and started playing it, that's when I broke into platinum. And not only did I break into platinum, I went on like a 4 or 5 game win streak. And I've actually kind of fallen back down just a bit since then. I actually switched over to my green deck. Where is it? Oh, Stamp. It's just a big stompy green deck. I switched over to it, and that's when I started to slink back down because I was like, you know what? I'm at the very bottom of platinum. I'm not going to drop back down to gold. And at this level, I should experiment. I should see if there's something a little bit different or better for me. So, turns out the white deck I've imported is far superior to anything else I was doing. And on top of it, you've got to put the time in. And that really brings me to the next point. You have to grind. In grinding, you open up the crafting slots to be able to build these better decks. Now, what's the best use of your gold, your in-game currency, and also your gems? The best use is drafting. Do drafts. I'm at silver tier 4, and I suck at drafting. But guess what? It doesn't matter. That's not what you're there for. You're there to get the cards. You're there to help to build your deck for over and constructed. And as you climb over here, you're going to get better at it eventually, anyways. So the next thing is you have to grind. I only have enough time some days to only just play the first couple of quests, and that's it. So I'm nowhere as high as I could be because I just don't play that much. So all that being said, I want to get to my final point, and that's this: paper magic. If you ever played paper magic, it is going to help you in this game to understand the concepts behind the game because you can see it, the mechanisms working in a different way. The other thing is, if you are actually playing paper magic, and this is how I actually got started when I came back to this game, I was buying Chandra's arena deck. I was buying Liliana's arena deck. I was buying, was it Kogla, whatever this guy's name is. I always get it wrong. Kogla. I was buying the Kogla versus Veto starter decks. Now, those decks are not great, but they give you tons and tons of cards. If you look at the Veto deck, this deck right here, you've got a lot of quality cards in this deck to get you started. And so this is one of those situations where I'm going to tell you that you need to consider looking at paper magic to get you started. And the reason why is you can go and you can buy one of these decks. It'll come with an arena code. You can plug it into the game, and the next thing you know, you've got a pre-made deck that's a little better sometimes than some of these other ones that you're given for free. Now, to be honest, of the ones you're given for free, most of them I deleted. The reason why is because they're okay, but they're always missing that punch. And they're not really the way I would like them. This one here, this Keep the Peace, it's not bad. Discard changes, didn't know I changed anything. Company of Knights, it's not bad. That's why these are still here. This Life Skills, it's not bad. That's why it's still there. And so that's the challenge. Basically, play paper magic too. That way you understand the cards. You understand the game in a better way, so whenever you're going into a match, you're on an equal footing with whoever you're playing against. So, and just to kind of recap all the points, how you get out of bronze, silver, gold, and I'm going to tell you right now, very likely these three things will carry you beyond just where I'm currently at. You may well be a better player than me. So you can possibly take these tidbits of information, these solid points to play by, and you can climb significantly higher than what I may be able to. So those points are real simple. Get the right deck. And another thing to point out about that real quick, not everybody likes the same type of deck. Some people like burn. Some people like white life gain. That's what I like. Some people like black control or blue control. So get the right deck, the deck that matches you. Find one that you like that's in meta. Meta just means most efficient tactic available. There's no shame in taking it. Grind. You've got to play the game. Because by grinding, you open up the ability to be able to craft better stuff. And also the third point, play paper magic. And if you're looking to buy and invest in these decks that give you cards that you can play online as well. My name's Wes, and I appreciate you tuning in.